Welcome back. Julia Roberts co-stars in August Osage County as a woman whose family reunites in Oklahoma when her father goes missing. Now here's Julia with this other actress named Meryl Streep, who plays her mother, and Ewan McGregor as her estranged husband.
You can't remember anything unusual.
We hired this woman. He didn't ask me. We hired this woman to come live in our house a few days before he left.
You don't want her here?
Well, I have an Indian in my house.
You have a problem with Indians, Violet?
I don't know what to say to an Indian.
They're called Native Americans, Mom.
Who makes that decision?
It's what they like to be called.
They aren't any more native than me.
In fact, they are.
What's wrong with Indians?
Why can't you just call people what they want to be called?
Let's just call the dinosaurs Native Americans while we're at it.
Now here's Julia. That Meryl Streep, she's pretty good. She was pretty good, wasn't she?
Meryl Streep is amazing. It's hard to stay the angry daughter when I'm really, my thought bubble is, I love her.
I'm in a scene with Meryl Streep. I read where you said the shoot for this is so intense. It's really intense, and it goes on and on and on. But then at the end of the day, you kind of hang out at Meryl's house and you relax a little bit. Is that press work or is that true?
It is true. We would relax for a little bit, and then Meryl would have us all sitting around the table rehearsing the next day's work. But we would relax for a little bit.
So this was like taking on the role of your life for a while. This wasn't a thing where you go to work for a few hours, then you go home. This was a chapter.
It was a huge chapter. It was a big undertaking for all of us, and a really big emotional commitment, I think. It's not simple material. It's very complicated. It's a lot of characters in the story, and each character has a full story to offer, and it's one of those things where we all were really invested equally as a team. It was the greatest acting experience of my life, I think.
And that is something for you to say that, because you've had a lot of good ones. But I just wonder, you're working with Meryl Streep. You're both great. We know that. You also both have big senses of humor. And I wonder once in a while, when you're looking at each other in the eyes in the middle of the most intense scene, if you don't start breaking up a little bit.
Well, there was a lot of laughing off camera, certainly, because you need that, especially for these hugely volatile scenes. You've got to have that outlet. And then some of these scenes are really funny. The movie is a dark comedy, at times very dark comedy. And those were the scenes that were the toughest to get through, because once something becomes so cleverly funny, for me, it's hard for me to recover.
You know, I was just looking at the movie that for most of us, where we fell in love with you, and I don't mean the Beverly Hills one, I mean Mystic Pizza, when we didn't know who you were. And suddenly you're in this another ensemble movie, and there's a shot of you with that 80s hair and a pool cue. That's what we're showing right now. That girl then, tell us about her then. You know, just the kind of young, cuter, chubbier version of me. Same girl, just I have better hair now. Would she have had any idea what was ahead?
Well, I think that none of us can know what's ahead, but you have your dreams and you have your commitment, and I think it's about knowing what your intentions are. And I've always had a very clear idea of my intentions as a person and as an actor, and I think that's been a great compass for me.
You also, an interesting comment, they were talking about in Mystic Pizza that you were the happiest person around. And you basically said, well, your set point in life is kind of happy, isn't it?
It is. And I think that that's something that, I don't know, I just have always felt that I was born to joy. And I think that it's at times something that I have to work hard at maintaining. It can be a tough world to be the happy person in sometimes, but I think that joy, like anything that is pure and well-intended, is something that people gravitate towards. And I know it's something I try to teach my children through example. And it's, you know, I mean, look, I have the best job in the world. It's my dream job. I get to meet incredible people, travel beautiful places, and share my creative experience. There's very little in my life to be unhappy about.
Well, look, Julia, you make us happy, so I thank you for that, and thank you for the time. We appreciate it. Julia Roberts, August
Thanks for
Osage
coming.
Training, opens today.